So I'm trying to upload a video about WPATH files. I'm not going to say anything more. We'll see. I have a feeling they're giving me trouble uploading it because, well, it's some leaked files. You could just go online and look for WPATH files. But what I want to say regarding that is the lobby group behind it, especially, given that so many of them happen to be biologically men. And there seems to be a trend with so how do I say, I should just say it straight, because the science will dissect this, like when they finally want to get honest about it, then they'll dissect this for years, and why did people do, so I'm just going to say it straight, and the science will come up with some, like hot-winded, long-winded paper that goes into every, bit of the brain and psychology. Okay, so since we have this thing going on with this push towards pedophilia, or MAPS, minor attracted persons, and we also have the transgender story hour classroom stuff going on, or drag time story hour in the classroom. You just have all this craziness, okay? And it's already been shown that, there's men who've abused children or abused women that then are in prison for it. And then they say, oh, I'm a woman now, so I can get moved to the female population. So there seems to be, I would suspect, I'm suspecting that, especially, again, I'm talking about the lobby group. I'm not talking about people that have gotten pulled into it. I'm talking about the lobby, the trans lobby group. Because it seems, at least for the men going to female, there's some abuse issues. So I just wonder, especially since Joe Biden supports transgenderism on children, and everybody likes to say how, Joe Biden loves kids. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He hates kids. He does, because he's inappropriate with them. And again, just look up Ashley Biden's, what she wrote in her own diary. He sees that as loving, but then he also thinks children are at an age to make decisions about their gender, even though they're not even old enough to drink, drive, none of that, but they can decide something like that. So is that somebody that's a caring person? No, it's not. It's somebody that's an abusive person. And given the way he's inappropriate with children, we don't have to go far. We kind of know, right? Like, there's a reason we have so many in the political world and other areas that seem to want to push this minor attractive person stuff. So I think that the people given, especially since one of the surgeons that's part of the trans lobby behind, children changing their genders, and you have to see my other video to know I'm saying this, sort of. But here's the thing. It's because, well, they want to be abusive to them. Nobody that cares about a child would do that to a child. People may be confused, but I'm talking it's most particularly because it's all been created by a pharma money backing trans lobby. Yeah, it's not organic. None of it is. It's just like the social contagion, you could say that's somewhat organic, but not really even that, because it's taken off like a contagion. This happened back in the 80s with anorexia. Anorexia was like a social contagion, and then from that we got the borderline personality disorder was tied to that, and it's like, yeah, okay. I'm not trying to say, I'm just saying that for whatever reason, nobody seems to be able to get it right when it comes to mental health. I'm not saying everything, but a lot of it. And I think it's because of the leaders, that the people that are deciding it. I really do. Because and I've said this before, people that are healthcare workers, not all at all, but in mental health, people that are predators I've seen them. that are will come into the mental health area because it's a vulnerable population. And it's sad to say, but that's like, you know, how it's always going to be. Well, I think at the very top, you know, I've been calling out all these professional organizations. I think at the top there's something not right with them, and whoever comes in after them is just going to be as twisted as the next one. And that's why we end up, because the very first transgender surgery that was done, well, it was from a surgeon that was involved in the Holocaust. So I don't want to go down this road too much. What I'm trying to say is that the lobbyists behind this, not the people that have gotten caught up and pulled into, that's separate. But the lobbyist is the trans lobby group in this country is very strong. They intimidate people. You know what? You can call me all the names you want. That's one of the benefits of being a psych nurse for 13 years. I've been called every name in the book. It doesn't faze me a bit. So bring it. I don't care. It's not going to bother me a bit. Many people would be like, oh, don't call me this. Don't call me a racist. No, I know what I am and what I'm not. And I have great insight. So I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not an expert, okay? I'm always a work in progress, like I think most of us should be, and we should stop with the experts. But I do have a lot of insight. I do have a lot of knowledge. I know myself very well, so I don't care what any trans lobby group calls me. I don't care what anybody calls me. The fact of the matter is to do this to children, especially these, because there's so many of them that are men, but they're saying they're female. And the surgeon that's behind the WPATH files, you could just tell these are men that are likely minor attracted persons, and minor attracted persons don't care about children. It's to hurt them. It is. So if they can't hurt them to touch them, then another way to hurt them is make sure that they go down some gender path to where if they go far enough down it and are on the hormones long enough, they will no longer be able to they won't grow up to have an orgasm. They won't grow up to be able to have kids. Their genitals will atrophy regardless of which way they're going. Whatever their natural genitals are will atrophy, and they'll have it would be a way to really just that's what an abuser would do. So that's my just my theory is that the same people that's and I'm talking about that are surgeons, that are social workers, that sit there or want to say that they're men and they're transitioned to women, but then they think yet they're in the medical field, but they think it's appropriate to do to children, then either you're very misguided, maybe shouldn't be in the medical field at all, really you shouldn't, but because I'm particularly talking about children, but no, I think it's because it's just another way to hurt children. Minor attracted people, let's just say pedophiles, okay? The pedophile cycle is a horrible cycle because it likely happened to them, okay? If we could get good leaders in the medical, psychiatric, nursing, strong leaders that know how to morally and ethically do the right thing, then I think we could help a lot of people. I do. I think the vicious cycle of the pedophilia trap, because it's not that I hate pedophiles, but it is not appropriate to go down this, let's legalize it and let's change the name to minor attracted persons. And it just so happens that many of the minor attracted persons happen to be male biologically that are saying that they're female, and they're the ones that seem to be wanting to push this and chant in the Pride Parade, we're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children. So it seems to me, because I don't think that anybody that abuses a child, and I mean sexually, and wants to somehow act like that's if you act on it, you're not doing it because you care, you're doing it because you want to hurt them. It's a power trip. The same way getting a kid to change their gender is a power trip. I could be totally wrong. Just a guess.